Oh, my name was Captain Kidd as I sailed, oh, my name was Captain Kidd as I sailed. My name was Captain Kidd, and God's laws I did forbid, as so wickedly I did as I sailed, so wickedly I did as I sailed. Oh, I murdered William Moore as I sailed, oh, I murdered William Moore as I sailed. I laid him in his gore, not many leagues from the shore. Oh, I murdered William Moore as I sailed, I murdered William Moore as I sailed. Oh, I spied 3 ships from Spain as I sailed. I spied 3 ships from Spain, I fired on them amain, and most of them I've slain as I sailed, and most of them I've slain as I sailed.
Everyone raise their hand if you're M class or above.
I have no
Here we go, Matt.
to find out.
You're a fucking gear enthusiast. What I'm saying is, like, everyone needs to just get on the range, build skill, build true skill that is unwaverable, that you can on-demand performance, right? And then go test it, right? And how do you test it? Like with a pistol, USPSA, IDPA, PCSL, there's tons of places to. Go see if you're as good as you can. That's the best thing you can do, is actually build skill and stop building a persona around a fucking skill that doesn't exist.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. Tonight, we are joined by Mr. Delta 34 and Jimmy Whiskey Hotel. So before we get going, how's your night going so far?
Great, man. Thank you for having me on. Jimmy, you're usually here if you did something good or if you did something bad. So we'll find out.
Yeah, no doubt. But no, so far, pretty good night. Kind of a surprise.
Well, yeah, I mean, glad to have you guys on. We're just going to be chatting about some of the happenings with Mr. Delta 34. Well, speaking of that, let's go ahead and pull that up real fast, because I'm sure, as most of you are probably aware, Mr. Delta 34 has recently put out a video that you guys should all go check out. And it's called Be Part of Something Special. Can't do it without some help. Maybe some big dogs will help share. This, why don't you run us through this story here? I'll put this this link in the chat for everybody if they want to go check out this video. But why don't you go ahead and run us through this story, good sir?
First, thank you. I appreciate the spotlight for it. Because I know we talked about doing some competition talk a couple months ago, you know, and you've been busy, I've been busy. This has actually kind of been an option for over a month. They talked to me about it. Actually, they joked last year with me about it. For example, people don't know, but I have an 8-month-old daughter now. So last year I had my first kid.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Thank you. Before she was born, the owners made a little outfit for her that said "Our Future" and the name of the range on it, hinting at me that I should buy it. And I joked, or I laughed it off, and I said, "Yeah, right. That's funny, guys." A little bit later during a USPSA match, because I help them set up the matches and clean up after the matches, that one of them made another joke to me. He said, "Well, you should, once you buy this," and I was like, "Hey, that's twice." I said, "Obviously that'd be a dream." I said, "But I'm not big league like you guys, you know that." And they reapproached me about a month ago and were dead serious and had a meeting with me and asked me, what kind of help and what they could do to, pass it on. And I took a serious talk with them, and I explained to them the situation I'm in. I'm not made of that. There's options to get kind of closer, but not close enough. And, it's basically to the point where whatever people can help would help. And then after that, I'll have to finance a bunch of myself and, pay off the rest of the debts myself. Mm-hmm. The main thing the GoFundMe really helps is, one, it helps. Two, there's a good chance with large financing of loans that you'll pay back, $500,000 in interest. And that interest money could go directly to equipment, berms, targets, concrete block walls. I mean, why give, in my opinion at least, why give the banks $520,000 in interest when that 120 can go directly to the public and the match directors and tons of other matches that go on there that I couldn't even list. There's so many, but that's a synopsis. And to be honest, man, I couldn't sleep for about a month. Every night at the end of the night, I would be like, "What are you doing? You're not cut out for this. Give it up." And then in the morning, I would either walk the grounds. Like, we cut in some new trails for the Ridge Racer recently. We extended one of them that's even longer. And as I walk the grounds, I'm like, I have to do it. It's like a calling. It's not every day something like this just falls into your lap as an opportunity. So I'll go and I'll be like, I can do this. I start getting a hold of people. I start asking questions. I start looking for ways to pull it off. And then by the end of the night, I'm like, I can't do this. I give up again. And then it's been this cycle for about a month. And then, some recent things were just like 2 lined up. And I called Jimmy. Jimmy's been directing matches forever. He's part of a board of his range. He's been in this game a long time. Call my family, anybody that, I know cares about me. I asked them and they're like, you definitely need to do it. And I was like, I'm back into the cycle again. Should I do it or not? And then, sorry.
Well, I was gonna say it's a hard thing to pass up, man, because how long have you been working at this range now?
Doing lots of the matches. Well, not just my match, but, I help with USPSA. So, off to people to set up matches. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that people show up and they have no idea how much work that is. For example, there's sandstone at my range. I'm sitting here trying to hammer spikes in the ground and I'm hitting sandstone. And I'm like, well, let me move the wall, a half foot and hope it meets the stage design. And so anyway, I've been probably working there and helping, I'd probably say 4 years solid of like legit doing things for them, which they don't pay me. I just do them. For example, one year they called and they needed grapevines cut out so they wouldn't raise their property tax. It's a thing here in Ohio. They will I don't grape you on property tax if you don't do it. So I'm here with freaking hedge trimmers and chainsaws on loose vines and hours sweating, but I never asked anything. So I think that must have been what led up, to them being like, "Hey, you're the guy, if you can do this." And I still told them I don't know. And I had a second meeting and I'm like, you know what? I said, I've never, asked YouTubers for anything before. I was like, maybe if I put it out there, the people will help. Good cause, it's selfless. Like I said, none of this is going to me. That GoFundMe is going to transfer from there to other hands. That's not mine. Right. I'm not getting it. I drive a 2008 Toyota Corolla that's rusted out with busted suspension. Like, it's not going to me. But just maybe people know to end this segment is in the comments on YouTube, I mentioned it's helping thousands of people. Like the public, the match directors, the other trainers there, the staff is the most important part. The grounds keeper, basically, he's worked for them 14 years. 14 years he's been dedicated. He cleans up the brass. He cleans up people's trash. People will take a microwave, set it on the rifle range and shoot it and blow it up and then leave their trash there. And this guy has to go out and clean it up after them, you know? So there's been years we're done shooting, we go out and we help them clean up all the trash throughout the range. It's just, it's nonstop and no one notices that. So anyway, long story short, yeah, whatever people, which I'm thankful for, if people do want to help, know that it's helping thousands of people. You know, indirectly, it's going to affect thousands of people. So that's the best I guess I could say. If people want details later, I think I'm going to do a follow-up video showing them more behind the scenes of what they actually just helped.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would probably do like a Q&A because I'm sure in that video you've gotten hundreds, if not thousands of questions at this point in time. But essentially, so you have the older owners that kind of want to move on from it, you know, retire, do that sort of thing. But they want to pass it off to somebody who actually cares and will take care of it and expand it and be a benefit to other people, which would be you, rather than faceless investor number 424 who might manage it, might not do such a good job. Who knows what's going to happen to the staff, to the matches, all sorts of stuff. And I mean, you've been putting on your Ridge Racer series there, which I know people have absolutely loved doing that sort of thing. And so another thing that people have been complaining about, especially in places like Ohio, out east, or wherever it may be, about not having places where they can actually do cool stuff with the stuff that they buy, right? So whether that's competition or just general training or whatnot, having these places is very important. Having somebody who can manage these, expand these, that sort of thing. So I think that this is a really big opportunity to not let this space go to waste. And especially if you're local to the area and you might actually be able to use the facility, I mean, this should be basically viewed as an investment for you.
Yeah, technically, but really, if people knew how much money I personally spend of my own just to give things to the range, here's a perfect example. I have two 15-foot steel I-beam staircases we just cut out of a research and development facility in a whole nother city. Trailer loaded them. The range workers helped me. I drive them down, and these are to weld onto shipping containers, so I can build these new shipping container shoot houses and sniper towers, right?
Awesome.
Then this opportunity comes up, and I'm like, well, crap. Now, if it goes to investors, whatever, buyers, now I have these shipping containers I got to get out of there because they become property of the new people, or I have them on the trailer and call up grandma like, hey, can I throw these on your property for 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
So I instantly paused a lot of the things I had been buying and had an order for the Ridge Racer in the fall and then next year, because this is like year 3 of it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, crap, I had all these plans and these routes and all this, and just pumped the brakes on them like instantly. So that's why I've been like mulling this over for a month and still working. I got a full-time job, an 8-month-old baby. I'm trying to get videos out. It's just a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. So, I mean, I was so scared because I don't ask anybody for anything. I was like, should I? And I was like, nope. And then someone told me to do it. And I'm like, all right, let someone else take control of this. Let's see. Leap of faith.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing too, because I think you mentioned this in your video, but if it doesn't pan out, then everybody just gets their money back.
Yeah, that's why I chose GoFundMe. I've had a lot of people ask about outside donations, if they want. But imagine I try to donate on GoFund. I think you just, boom, it just refunds everyone. But now I got so-and-so gave me a check. I got to mail that back to them. I got to check Venmo, like, oh, that was a donation. I'm not doing that. And honestly, on GoFundMe, I've never used it before. And they don't show you how it works until you do one. It shows a menu of all the donations. So everybody can see who contributed, whether anonymous or their name. They can post comments, and I can actually update photos and messages to everyone. So I'll be able to show them cool things going on, in the process, depending on what it does. And by GoFundMe, it's transparent. Everybody can see it. It's all legit. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, boom, refund it back to everybody.
Well, yeah. So let's talk about this for a second. So this is your GoFundMe page here. It is for $500,000, which is a big chunk of change, right?
Yeah.
And, I mean, I can totally imagine that that's a very scary thing to ask your audience for. But fortunately, we talked about it. I was like, you have a basically perfect reputation in the community. So for other people, I would be very skeptical of it. But I think, well, how has the response been from your community?
Dude, let's just say yesterday, I was sitting out back in my shop, and a couple times, man, I just broke down, like, wet eyes. I don't want to do it live, but I couldn't even believe it, man. It was crazy.
Yeah. So positive response, not people calling you out for it.
had any negative responses, and I'm willing to answer questions if they don't understand. Like the property, for example, is about 90 acres. It's about 10,000 an acre here in Ohio, and that's in an area that's not being developed like the central area, people coming in and all the Facebook servers. That land overnight doubled, all that land around there. There are people becoming millionaires with their farm fields in central Ohio right now because they're selling off their land, right? It's pushing outward, and it's headed pretty close to where this is. So it hasn't fully affected, but it's still 10 grand an acre. So just the 90 acres is $900,000. I would be willing to save up for 10 years, buy my own property and develop a range. But when you get in development, you'll be $3.5 million to develop a brand new range that doesn't exist. This one will be functional. So really that deal is beyond lucky timing. And hopefully people understand that it's like, it's either meant to be, or this doesn't happen every day. Let's just say that. It just does not happen every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. It really lines up with what you're already doing, rather than having to build out a new place. You're already using it. You're already helping them. The people who own it. Mm-hmm. You run your big competitions out of it. So yeah, no, I think it just makes sense. So yeah, check that out. That link, the GoFundMe link, is pinned in the chat. And I think any super chats that come through on this stream, we're just going to go ahead and send them over there after that is done. So you can donate here, donate there. It's all going to the same place.
And get it all back.
Well, Jimmy, do you have anything you want to add to that before we move on to like generic comp shooting type stuff?
But just that we need range owners.
Oh no, it happened again. Jimmy, I can't hear you. Did it pop through? Is it?
I think it's on your side.
Yeah, I can hear him.
What? Oh, I think my audio reset. I think it's my bad. I apologize. I think my audio reset in the middle of that. It did. I don't know how it did that. I didn't touch anything. And okay.
You got me now?
Again? No?
No?
Oh, hello?
I can hear him.
Oh, no. Can the audience hear? Oh, no.
Jimmy,
it all went wrong. Voice meter input.
Or I'm just hearing you in my head.
I should come up with a simple system to make this work. Okay. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
I might have to back out and then hop back in. I don't know what's going on.
Welcome to the Whiskey Hotel, Delta.
All right. Well, hey, entertain the audience for just a minute. I will be right back.
Well, Mark, I'm guessing the audience can hear me if you can hear me. But yeah, we need range owners that are willing to allow match directors to work outside of the usual left and right limits, right? And we want that. That's what we want, is range owners. I'm not saying to allow us to have unsafe events. What I'm saying is to allow us to get outside of this square range mindset and start developing matches that are more field practical, I guess. So that's why I'm happy to see that you're buying this range. I would like to see more ranges, throughout the entire United States. Look into these things. There's a lot of good things going in the shooting community. Run and Gun, I think, is one of those places that's really starting to push it.
Yeah, someone commented on my YouTube about how in their area, 2 of their ranges had shut down. They're just done. And then actually the Barrel and Hatchet guys messaged on my YouTube. They said that they had a local issue in their range and they bought a new one, he said, and then are getting the new one all prepped and ready because the previous range had been bought up and coincidentally being turned into apartment complexes or something, I think.
It's wild.
Apartments or something. So hats off to those guys because I didn't know that. And I messaged back, hey, Barrel and Hatchet, if you guys want some personal donations from me. Oh, man.
Yeah, but I mean, that's one of the biggest complaints that we get is people need a place to actually shoot and do cool stuff, and they just don't have access to it close to them. They don't have public land. When I lived on the West Coast, it was easy because there's so much public land everywhere. You don't even need a range, right? The people on the East Coast, just not a real thing,
Yeah, that's why even, in my video, some of the big ballers, there's a lot of people here that have private land and, there might be people that have 200 acres, right? So they can invite their family and grandchildren to shoot and stuff. But I mean, the public can't. What does the public do? They're kind of just arse out,
Yeah.
So, ranges are actually more important on at least the East Coast without the BLM land than the West Coast for sure.
Yeah, and we need to get more range owners behind allowing guys to shoot at nighttime.
Oh, so that is one of the things at my range. We can't really do NV. Thankfully, Jimmy does host some amazing not just night training or night fun nights. These are night matches, and night matches change a lot. So one of the things too I'll be able to do is actually bring in night matches as well. Like a nighttime ridge racer would be, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky here in South Dakota. There's 2 matches within an hour of me that run multiple night matches a year. So, which in a lot of places, a lot of ranges, they don't allow you to do that sort of thing. So you buy your $10,000 set of nods or whatnot, and you have no place to use it. No range will allow you to use it. So it's kind of like, oh, you bought it and it looks cool, I guess, on the gram.
Yeah.
It's very obvious in a night match who lives next to a range that allows them to shoot at night and who doesn't.
Even if you have to do suppressor only, criteria. Oh, hey.
What's M26 hanging out? Because I know he had a great time at your Ridge Racer. He was posting all about that.
I will share some of his footage. He will have a clip featured in the next video and the next video after that with his.
Awesome.
And Jimmy, actually, I can see you guys. This is still Jimmy to the viewers.
That's me to the viewers, but we get it. Yeah, that's Jimmy. There you
go. I have a bunch of footage coming up next Friday. That 1.5 years with a certain optic, but there's a huge saga that is nothing but Jimmy's matches, 5 of them throughout the year that I've done, and it's gonna be exciting. You'll see some of the night stuff, you'll see tons of the day stuff, because this man, I think, still there. Mm-hmm. The coolest matches called Team Ruck. So fun, love it. I'm going to the summer ruck in August 2nd. It's been planned for about 6 months, and I'm probably gonna sweat and die. So we'll see.
Appreciate that, Mark.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jimmy, why don't you talk about some of the competitions and stuff that you run?
Right. So first of all, we kind of started out as a training company. Well, take a step back. I started out running Precision 22 matches. That's how I cut my teeth as a match director. I left the military after about 13 years and a couple tours and some different training that I went to, different units I served in. And when I came to the civilian sector, I knew that I wanted to try to build a competition that was kind of going to bridge the gap between competition and combat. You both being competitive shooters, I'm sure you've heard the tactical guys say, well, I'm not going to participate in this because X, Y, Z, right? And I thought to myself, what if I made a competition that took that excuse away? Mm-hmm. Like, fine, then here, you have to carry a combat load. You have to, use cover or what insert whatever you want to insert, right? So I started building that competition, and I kind of looked at it more as a training opportunity or a way to like pressure test whatever skills you were developing. And realistically, for me, it's a way to pressure test the things that we're teaching in our courses. But our Team Ruck match is it's by far most people's favorite event, and it's one that we're really proud of. This winter we got 100 shooters to shoot 6-minute stages and do 3 ruck challenges, and we were done in 8 hours in one day.
Nice.
So efficiency is the key, right? You respect the shooter's time and try to maximize all that. We try to minimize downtime. I think most people's average wait time was about 15 minutes. Long wait time was about 15 minutes waiting on a stage. But we build a lot of stages redundant so we can run shooters through faster. I'm able to run multiple teams at a time because I've got it built identical across our range. But yeah, we love the Team Ruck. We try to incorporate all multiple disciplines of shooting in it. So you'll have a precision-based stage, you'll have a blind stage, you'll have unsupported shooting, short-range shooting. No one discipline lives supreme at our match. I tell people all the time, like, hey, if I don't have something like what you do or like what Mark does, how can I train for your match? Well, the best thing you could probably do is go shoot USPSA and PRS. And then just kind of take those 2 skills, practice those with your rifle, and then come to the match and shoot. Of course, also, it never hurts you to be cardiovascular fit.
Yeah. Well, because that's the kind of something that I do want to talk about a little bit with you guys. So I hear that same argument against USPSA all the time, basically, like, oh, there's no tactics involved. And for me, it's like, yes, correct. This is purely about putting holes in paper as fast as possible. If you cannot do that, you're not going to be good at USPSA, right? So I mean, it's a USPSA to me is a fundamentals thing. That's it, right? It's like going to a drag strip, right? It's how fast can you go? Fast and accuracy combined together, right? People are like, oh, that's not what you would do in combat. It's like, well, that's not what this is doing, though. This is testing your fundamentals, right? How fast, how good can you execute the fundamentals of shooting in a semi-complicated stage, right? Or even a lot of times it's really simple, right? But yeah, I don't think USPSA is meant to be complicated. And I also, to push back a little bit, I hear that argument from people who can't shoot very well a lot. So it's like well, you can't shoot. You're a B class or a C class shooter, and you're complaining about USPSA, but you're not even like that good of a shooter though. Now, if you were like fantastic and you're like, oh, I don't think that these are the best use of my time, it's like, okay, I can see your argument there. But a lot of the times people don't even have a grasp of the fundamentals. They just want to do something that's a little bit more flashy, let's say, a little bit more active, because maybe they're better at, they're more physical, right? So the shooting is like a secondary component to them. But I think what actually does matter is having a very holistic approach to it, right? Not any one element that's the best for you, right? You have to have good cardio. You have to be able to actually put bullets where you want them to go, whether that's with a pistol, rifle, or whatnot, right? And then having all the LBE and setup and pressure testing, that is something you can do at a match, like you're saying, whether it's a brutality style match, a ruck style match, ridge racer style match, that sort of thing.
Yeah, USPSA does improve skills 100%. If you could separate like, hey, what is good from it, what is not. People often interchange those. It seems they'll point out the bad when we're talking about something good, and then the good when we're talking about something bad. And it's like, let's slow down and talk about, like for example, USPSA I shoot production. First match, there was a sequence of 8 targets, and I run a Glock 19. I have 15 rounds. Mm-hmm. The guy who got second in production over me, he has a Glock 17, so he has 17 rounds. Guess who had a painful reload before I could leave that spot? Moi.
Right. Yeah.
So this thing sometimes like, the guy is, I think, a better pistol shooter than me. He knows he's this. But it's moments like that where you're like, was he actually the better pistol shooter? Because I got hemmed up for more time having a 15-round magazine versus 17. But then there's other features of it that are like, hey, if you go there and you get, which we'll talk about later, master, grandmaster, like you are better than the other people, and you can prove it mostly objectively in lots of other setups. We could put targets in a lot of configurations, and most likely, guess what? The grandmaster is going to smoke you.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's the interesting thing about the different divisions and whatnot. And there are times that exposes the fact that there are gear advantages, right? No matter how fast you are at your reloads, if you just have less ammo, like the open guy with his 29-round magazine or whatever it might be, never has to reload, never going to worry about it, right? But somebody else with 18, 17, whatever it might be, your stage plan is different. So there are different divisions and different things that separate it out. But still, like, if you put like me with as many rounds as I want versus Ben Stager, never gonna come close. Doesn't matter, right? It's two totally different levels of shooting there, and so that's what I think that USPSA is good about, is the fundamentals. But again, even that can't be everything. You can't just shoot good in a classifier and be like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna go home now, and I got that little letter next to my name, and I'm cool now, so I'm done. Yeah, it's like go ahead, put that on a plaque at your next job or something.
Yeah, there's other things too. Let's say I could have defeated my problem I had with the 15-rounder by just constantly doing half mag full reloads the whole time, and then I'm like, I'm always topped off. But in real, say you come to mine or Jimmy's match, you're not throwing a half mag out on the ground in the middle of the woods where you'll never find it again, and you don't know where the targets are. You may not know, so you're not going to do that. So yeah, there's things that like carries over too.
Yeah, but I think that is the game element of USPSA. So I try not to treat USPSA like an engagement strategy, like a real life type thing. I treat it like a game, because it is essentially a game. It's golfing at high speed with guns.
Yep. Yeah, and
that's kind of the way I look at it.
Viewing knows that I do approve of USPSA. It's very helpful for performance.
I think it's the most simple shooting sport, other than maybe Steel Challenge. The Steel Challenge is repetitive. You get to do it multiple times, usually static. So I think Steel Challenge might be a slightly simpler, but similar veins that we're talking about there.
Yeah.
But you move on from that to the higher stress stages, and you guys have both run these long stages. Do you ever see guys that are doing like really hot early on, or in like one segment that you can tell, okay, this is the area where they're really good. Everywhere else, not so much.
You can answer that one, Jimmy, first. I got a funny story.
Yeah, I see that quite a bit. So we do a stage that we call around the clock, and around the clock is some sort of physical task that earns you a set number of shots or a set number of engagements. For an example, we had targets ranging roughly every 50 yards from 100 yards to about 500 yards. And every loop earned you and your teammate a 6-round mag to get as many hits as you could, hit to move on. And you just had 6 minutes on the clock. The loop was going through an obstacle course, like through a culvert, over top of a wall, across some balance beams, and throw some kettlebells over a rope. 6 minutes on the clock, do as many reps as you can. And you'll definitely.
Event?
It was a team event. Yeah, the ruck match is a team ruck match.
Okay.
So you're also communicating with your
miserable.
partner. You're also communicating with your partner, hey, I just shot that target. We have to move to the next one. Or sometimes you're expending ammo you don't need to expend on targets.
Mhm.
But yeah, we definitely see people fall apart. Communication part, it can make people fall apart. Cardiovascular, they're dying, or just they get in their own head, forget where they're at. Well, as soon as that shot timer goes off, you forget your name and where you're at.
Right. Yeah. It's like, what was I doing again? Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
shooting. That's right. That's what I'm supposed to be doing here.
So that said, any match you go out and shoot will help you in this discipline. It doesn't matter what match it is.
Yeah. Real quick. When I set up mine, which I try to come up with something creative, but what it does is it actually supports trainers and competitions. For example, let's say even Jimmy's do this. Let's say you come to mine and you had a lot of trouble in a pistol section. I can be like, well, meet my friend Colin. He specializes with pistols, for example. Go see him, take a class. When you come back, you will have you will instantly go up in ranking. Also, long distance. So I have an orange course. It's long distance. Jimmy here sends up his staff to help me. He sent 6 ROs from his organization 2 days in a row for me to help with my staff. They get to talk to his staff, and if they have trouble on the orange, which is the long range, these guys are they're combat carbine mostly there, but I mean, it dabbles in the line into PRS. So I'm like, hey, go see Whiskey Hotel. They specialize. They have 3 DMR courses. What I'm doing, it's testing in a cool way, and then it spreads the love to the trainers and the other competitions. Go do a ruck match, go do a PRS match, come back, try to win the Ridge Racer. So, and then the other point you asked about, if you notice when people get winded, yeah, there's usually numbers. There's 2 ROs per lane on mine. 1 scores. I kind of film just for, YouTube. And I also send out all the videos to the competitors so they can self-review themselves. I used to do commentaries. I would combine everyone's footage in one 4-hour video. I dubbed over audio of things they did well, things they can improve on, how to improve it. And then privately unlisted on YouTube, I send it. Every competitor got to watch everyone's runs. So they're getting 72 times the amount of information by watching all the other competitors' runs.
Nice.
Maximum learning. And then in there, I'll be like, this is what happened here. This is why. Well, we do have a position like this last one in the spring. By the time they got the position 6, we knew that's where they get winded and they stop responding. I'll give you an example. We get to position 1 or 2. I call the hit really loud so they can hear it. And I usually say, good job. Or if it's a 2-hit position, when they get the second hit, I call hit, but I also say good job just in the mind oh yeah, I'm done with that spot, just in case. Well, by position 6, I'll be like, good job, because they'll say thanks at position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By position 6, I'm like, good job. They have a dead stare. They don't even look at you. They don't say nothing.
No response. Yeah.
You get the physical and the mental breakdown about a certain point, and I know when that is. And then after that point, I start adding harder information on Blue. I do M26 made me forget my train of thought. But
yeah, sorry, I'm interrupting. I keep seeing him chatting.
I see chat, but I could see when you pop up
when I pop it up, yeah.
But yeah, when after they're exhausted mentally and physically, that's when I doubled down on a hard instruction and I doubled down on a physical activity. So then they see, well, wow, this rifle's way heavier than I remember it. And the exhaustion kicks in. And then the instructions, they take longer and they read things 3 times because they tried to hurry twice and it didn't even retain. So yeah, and then I send it out and I tell them about it. So it's maximum learning, I think. And then pitch them off to USPSA, pitch them off to Whiskey Hotel, pitch them off to whatever, Ridgeline Defense, you know. So, yep.
Yeah, I try to explain this to guys all the time. They're always nervous about getting into these style of matches, but the amount of growth you'll see, it doesn't matter what discipline it is, from match 1 to match 10 is unbelievable. The hard thing is once you've hit match 10, right, how do I break that plateau? How do I go into the next level? And that might be when you need to go to an instructor. It might be when you need to go look at a different discipline because they might have a different angle to look at maybe your skill set and help you continue to develop it.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the fun part is when people get kind of, I don't want to say burnt out, but when they do plateau in one area, they can kind of just, there's a million different things you can do with a gun. You know, it doesn't have to be USPSA. It can be PRS. It can be, you know, even a NRL 22 can be a fun one as well. That are just very different, easy to get into. You can start going 2-gun, 3-gun. There's all sorts of wild things you can do. And I think by and large, all shooting helps you get better at shooting. So whatever you happen to do, as long as you're still doing stuff and, you know, your cardio is good, stuff like that, it's going to help you in these very big holistic style challenges.
Yeah, the trick to getting better at shooting is stop buying gear and go buy more ammo.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that was kind of what we talked about. I had that little intro blurb of Matt Pranka because I did at my last super classifier, I did actually make master in USPSA, which was funny because in that interview or in that podcast that we did together, he was like, "Hey, if you're a master, raise your hand." I go, "Well, now I'm a master in USPSA, the world's worst master, but still a master in USPSA." But the most important thing isn't centering your identity around a piece of gear or whatever cool setup or a clone build or a retro rifle. It's actually just getting out and using the thing. So over the last 3.5 months, I think my first match was in March. My first ever USPSA match was in March. And from there, it's been very dedicated because this is all I do because I'm a low-life YouTuber. But all I do is basically I dry fire 30 minutes to an hour every day, and then I shoot multiple times a week. And that level of dedication will carry you pretty far pretty quick. So I think it's just a level of dedication to actually getting good at the basics. And then after this point, that's where I want to get into some of the other styles of competition and get better at other things rather than just USPSA, which is a very basics focused competition, which I personally enjoy. I think it's very fun.
When do we get to congratulate you on Master? Is that a little bit later?
No, never. No, never. No, I mean, I did make it. So, I mean, it was lucky. So we talked about, you know, the beep goes off and you lose your stage plan. So on this super classifier, we're doing 5 classifiers. On the big one, the first one of the day, I shoot it. I'm like, that was a super fast time. Fantastic. One of the bigger classifiers. However, I forgot to step in on the first array of targets. So I got 4 procedurals right at the beginning. So I ended up taking like last place on that classifier because I forgot to just take a singular step into the shooting area and then, you know, go in there and finish off everything else. So that was a fun way to start it. But yeah, that definitely happens that my the retard speed comes with the rest of the retard, unfortunately.
Yeah, in that fundraiser video, there's a shooter that came to my Ridge Racer. It's a little clip I added, a B-roll. You can see him get to a barrel and he steps out of the blue fault line and then he goes the other side out of the blue fault line. Clint, sorry if you're watching, but he's a phenomenal shooter. Like
He's a great shooter.
The third position goes right out of the fault line.
Yeah. I mean, it just happens. You get so focused on everything else, you just forget, like, oh yeah, I can't step over there because there's that line on the ground, that pesky little line that says where I can and can't shoot.
The ground to infinity. Yeah, congrats though, sincerely. That's
well, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Is your finger all bloody?
Oh, I cut my thumb on the Vortex Defender comp dot thingamajig because it has that serrated front on it. You know what I'm talking about? And so during the draws and dry fire, it would like graze my thumb and just cut it open. But other than that, I'm all right.
That's good. What are you going to do about maintaining master? Are you going to try to go for grandmaster or what?
Well, so I think I'm going to still push it pretty hard for the next few months. That's my plan, anyways. So I think I have a Area 3 championship in September. I have more matches at the end of July and for the next couple months. So this year, I'll probably have ended up doing 30 to 35 matches when it's all said and done. Just USPSA style matches, maybe a couple 2-gun in there as well. But I think that's the plan for this year. Next year, because this is going to be a whole nother topic that I'm going to get into. I don't think doing that many matches is really conducive to training because I spent like at times I'm driving 4 to 6 hours, sometimes even up to 8 hours for like 30 minutes of shooting or less. And I could have spent that time and money on actually training rather than shooting like 4 stages at some of these competitions. So I think there is a balance there, but just because I hadn't shot a lot of competitions, I was trying to basically maximize as many as I could. So I think there's some interesting things. I think I'm going to do a video on what gear is required, right, to be good at USPSA, because I don't even own a shot timer, and I use a cut up Blackhawk holster as my race holster. It's literally just an angle grinded way to fit my my gun that I have. I have a Condor LCS Cobra battle belt, one of the old 2-piece battle belt styles. Like the gear required is almost zero, not quite zero, but almost zero to be good at USPSA.
I run an Alice belt at USPSA.
Yeah, I mean, I see people do it all the time, whatever they have. It's like, that's why when people say, what do I need to get into this? It's like, if you conceal carry appendix, you can shoot appendix in USPSA. Just have a spare magazine, and that's going to get you through just about everything you're ever going to run into. So that's what another thing that I like about USPSA is the barrier to entry is so low. And to get good at it, you need to dry fire and shoot once a week if you can. Like, so that's the thing I like about it.
Well, if you do get a shot timer.
Yeah. No, it's I've never owned a shot timer. I only ever use a shot timer at a match. That's the only time I've ever used a shot timer.
So, because we talked about getting out and testing your stuff, you need to use it, right?
Yeah.
Last spring Ridge Racer was a monsoon crazy mud water fest, and it destroyed 3 of my Pro Timer 2s. Yep. We basically waterproofed the targets. We waterproofed the scorecards. We partially waterproofed ourselves. Half the competitors were waterproof, but I'll tell you what, them shot timers, done. If anybody, I'll watch maybe the comments or somebody message me which shot timer is guaranteed to not be destroyed in the rain, because that's pretty important.
Yeah, get one that's actually waterproof, because what are those, $200 a pop or something?
They're up to like 150, and the second gen has way too much crap you don't need, and the menu. I just miss the old simple ones. And one of my Pro Timers, there's just lines going through the numbers. I'm like, is that a 6 or an 8? I can't tell. So yeah. And then Jimmy had a good idea. You wrap a bag around them. I mean, I guess I could put a sandwich bag over it or something and just keep it out of the rain.
Yeah, I mean, anything is better than having them die on you, because $200 a pop.
Yep.
That's why I like keeping things so simple, because I don't need to worry about all this other equipment and whatnot. I can just do my little simple thing and be a little tard and go fast, and that's my entire modus operandi, basically.
Yeah, and I'm up to 7 of those for the match. Like, I slowly just bought like 1 or 2 every couple months leading up, and I have to have backups. You know, one goes down, your whole match is screwed. So shout out to match directors that buy all their own crap. It's expensive.
Yeah, I know they can be very, very expensive to run for. And I mean, when you talk about your Ridge Racer series, you're using bulldozers to make the stages. You're doing all sorts of work on it. You're pulling trees. You're making shelters. You're doing all sorts of crazy things that go above and beyond like just regular stage planning.
I showed up. I want to say I showed up the weekend before the big one. I did a staff shoot. I had a gap weekend to polish everything up, make it look fancy. Make any improvements and corrections. Like regular guy training came on the staff shoot because that was the only weekend he had available. You know, he tests things. I find out where people are too confused that I can't have it. It'll slow down the match. And people, they're supposed to run this way secretly because it's blind. And next thing you know, they head this way. And I have to actually say something, which I don't usually. It's blind. And then I'm like, hey, come back here. It's this way. It's my bad. So we fixed that. Well, anyway, weekend before, a huge tree down on one of my positions, the ropes, the barrels. So I took my side-by-side, I hooked it up, pulled it out of the tree. It came crashing down on my side-by-side, almost busted the whole frame there. This stuff happens all the time when you're outdoors. I degloved my finger, which I told you about.
Yeah. Every
post,
time you say that, I just
I had like an instruction post down in the woods, and I was tapping in because we had a guy show up from Louisiana. He had the wrong day, wrong weekend, and yeah, so he came the week before the match, after the staff shoot, but before the real event. And his friend called me. He's a very nice guy, phenomenal shooter. He's like, "Hey, I'm sorry. He's up from Louisiana for the match. We didn't give him the correction of the date, so I'm in a hurry. Like, okay, we'll get you through the stages. They're kind of ready. Like, but you drove. Screw it. Let's do it." Me and my friend were like, "Let's just run him solo." We ran him through every stage. Well, I was hitting a post, tapping it. Somehow on the top of the 2x4, when I went down, my finger went under the sledge, and it just degloved it.
Yeah.
Ported cartilage out. Actually, the Ridge Racer was so cold, it was just insanely painful the whole match for 2 days straight in the rain, and I just kind of hid it from everybody. But I haven't been able to shoot a pistol for about 2 months to heal it, and it's good now.
Yeah.
I can still feel it on the corner of the bone. But anyway, it happens.
Hey, so does that mean if I show up on the wrong day, can I get a private run through the course?
Yeah, if over and we never saw you before.
Yeah, it's like, oh, sure. I just missed. Somebody had a good question. Custom line for $5 says, yeah, how does exercising stop me from hitting low left, smart guy? Well, listen, when you find out how to stop hitting low left, you let me know, okay? The answer is always more practice. That's,
No, false. They just need to buy better equipment.
Ooh, actually, yes. You can buy for a limited time my training course for $9.99 a month, and you will learn how to become a better shooter. That's actually the secret to success. I need to start doing that, Grift, where I sell a monthly training course. You get access to a private group, and we teach you. Well, let's see. Is there anything else that you guys want to touch on when it comes to different competitions? Like, what do you think? Obviously, I think USPSA is the easiest to get into, but then after that, what do you think people should go to? Just two gun? Is it going to be something that's a little bit more dynamic, like these brutality style matches, ruck style matches, sniper matches? What do you think is the next step for people who are already into simple competitions?
This mean they're already past the fundamental phases. They can do tight groups at 100, 200 yards. You're saying after they're that point?
Yeah. So they're past the basics, right? Because I think my audience, your audience, is a more shooter focused audience in general, right? Not everybody, but in general, right? So if they already have the good aspects of the basics and they don't necessarily just only ever want to shoot pistols, what's kind of next for them?
I'll do a short segment, Jimmy, if you want, because you've been doing this way longer than me. I personally think positional work applies to so many things in the rifle world. Because the reason I don't do a ton of USPSA, although I like it and enjoy it, is I'm a rifleman at heart. I love rifle work. It's always been me for the last 20 years. Well, positional work, getting into position, I mean, it's cardio based, but being able to get into the position and get the shot as fast as possible starts to kind of sound like USPSA with a pistol. You need to get into the position. You need to get the shot as fast and accurate as possible. Rifle positional work and doing this over and getting the position, trying to see the target ahead. Because with a rifle, in my opinion, you're basically target focused. You see it down range, whether it's 100, 200, you don't know. You're target focused. You need to get the rifle onto the position. Instant stability and confidence to crack the shot for first round impacts as fast as possible. I think positional work will lead you into being good at PRS, long range, even the up close stuff,
Yeah.
Well,
I think that aspect of it is people think that the gear or there's lots of different elements that they need to work on, but I think the most important one, vision. I think that dictates where the bullets go the most.
Is what would you say? I didn't hear.
Vision.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Because that translates everything, right? Because if you can fix where you're looking in USPSA, it's going to fix where the bullets go for the most part. And I think that translates to rifle and to different things as well. You can fix where you're actually looking.
Yeah. Did you by chance see any of my Instagram stories recently where I shot the no optic I don't even have irons or nothing on the rifle, and I did like a little.
Yeah, the stuff you were posting on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a up close Ben Stoger one, and then I kind of did like a further accelerator drill, and I added a target to the right just so I had to swing laterally. And I did it with no optic, and they're all hits. So I'm going to feature that in the next video next Friday. Just to your point, that I'm looking at the target, I'm using my natural point of aim.
Yeah, people call it different things, whether it's index, natural point of aim, whatever the term is, it's that.
Yep. And basically get all hits. So I think the whole drills, I had like 2 deltas, but the rest were all alphas with a few Charlies. Just to prove that being target focused, good rifle placement on yourself, and they're all doubles, so, or pairs, whatever people want to call it. And yeah, it's just a fun little section of the video because it's actually about using 1x on an optic that you can't see the 1x on a first focal plane. You know, like, can I still hit the target if I can't see my reticle on 1x first focal? So anyway, that'll be cool. Go ahead, Jim. Is the most.
So I've actually helped 2 guys answer this question. The team that took last place in my first ever Team Ruck 5 years ago, those guys won not the winter one, but the summer one. They helped me run the winter match. They kind of tag in and out between shooting them and competing in them. And what I convinced those guys to do was go shoot all the other disciplines, but take 1 gun. So I convinced them to stop shooting all these different rifles. And I was like, you're going to pick 1 rifle. You're going to pick a reliable quality rifle with a reliable quality optic. Pick a type of ammo. I don't care what it is. And you're going to go shoot Rainer's long range match. And literally one of my friends shoots a 1,000-yard match with a BCM with an 8.55 and a 1x8 Night Force on it. His teammate has a Mark V on an AR-15. I'm not sure the model of the rifle. Mm-hmm. He'll take that 3 to 18 and he'll be shooting 50-yard and 2-gun matches. And the point is, quit changing your gear all the time. Find the shortfalls in your gear. Go develop the skills that you need to solve those problems. So it's kind of a hard question to answer. What match should they go to next? Go to a run and gun match, go to a PRS match, go to whatever match. Pick the weapon system you want to get good with. Go to the match it's not designed to do. Don't worry about your placement. Worry about developing the skills that match is there to do.
Okay, so it's a totally different mindset about you're there to just build the skills. So the match is kind of irrelevant. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Do I care if I go to a PRS match with an AR-15 and win? No, I'm not there for that. I'm there to develop that skill set to go to this match and then come away going, okay. There's very few people that understand bag positional work as well as a PRS shooter, or data for that matter at distance, right? Those guys really understand it. There's 1,000 people at any match that you go to that's willing to help you out with their discipline, willing to teach you, willing to share gear, RO something. If you go RO a match, you get to watch 50 to 100 people do a stage. And now you can understand stage planning. You can see what works and what doesn't work and be like, man, I really like what he did. Take it home, practice it at your own local range.
Yeah, that's actually good. That's a good pitch for all competitions that basically exist. You're going to meet people at higher skill levels. You're not only developing your skill for the money, but you're getting to ask questions to people that are way better than you, or one area they were better. Like, hey, how are you doing that? You know what I mean? Like, that's free. That's like worth. I mean,
the cheapest training you can do is go RO match.
Yeah, RO, or yeah, like you said, ask the other top 10. You know, what them top 10 people doing. Mm-hmm. You know, me and Brian at your was it Save the Kids match?
Oh yeah,
we got beat out by them 2 guys with ACOGs. Like, you got people down at your match running 3 to 18s. I'm running this 1 to 6 I've been using for over a year. Brian's got the Elcan, and 2 ACOG dudes got first place, cleaned out the entire match. Which proves they had the skill. They know their equipment, they know their abilities, they know their skills, and they won with 2 ACOGs.
Mark would be excited that ACOGs won.
Yeah.
Hey, why?
ACOG guys are special, man. Okay,
they earned it.
So the big thing about our match is we don't let any one discipline reign supreme. So 25% of our match is shot inside 50 yards. 50% of the match is between 50 and 300, and then 25% of the match is shot from 300 to 500. So we try to keep the match in the realm of combat practical. And I know practical's not a good word in the shooting world, right? Because the tactical guys always get upset whenever you throw out the term practical. But we try to keep it combat applicable, maybe is a better word. But anyways, no one discipline reigns supreme. I don't want a guy that only trains USPSA to show up and run the match, and that has not happened. We actually had a GM shoot in our last match. He placed like 16th at a local. We only had about 40 shooters. So it was really cool because GMs have a different mindset. They come to you and they're like, "This is interesting, kind of humbling. I'm going to turn around, look at what I need to do, and train hard for this." Right? Completely different mindset than a lot of other people. But that said, also we've had really high level PRS shooters. That's their only discipline. They're not cleaning the clock with everybody else either. So,
well, I think that kind of translates. No matter what, just achieving a high level in any discipline, GM, pro, whatever it might be for the different disciplines. Having that mindset to be able to do that will translate to other skills, even if it's not there yet. Just having that mindset will. Like people who are excellent at things and can build skill and have shown that dedication in the past, they can do that again in a different thing. Especially all shooting is related, but there are definitely specialities within shooting.
Funny that you said that. We have a DMR qual that we do in our courses, and I had a good friend of mine, Francis Colon. He's a pro shooter in the PRS. Shoot the qual. He didn't max it out, and he was like, "You give me 2 weeks, I'll have a perfect score." So give me 2 weeks of training these positions, I'll have a perfect score. It's just a different mindset with those guys, right?
Yeah, to your point, Central Sands Defense for 5 says, Jim is 100% correct on his take. I'll shoot my work guns in comps, and it absolutely makes me better in other aspects.
Yeah, if you start with what was the remember, Jimmy, we were talking about the old Glock match where everyone had to use the same Glock out of box, and stuff like that's kind of cool. Imagine a rifle match where everyone had to use a BCM, like just everyone has the same 16-inch BCM, can't change nothing on it, same ammo, and then see how much it affects the rankings when you can't put brakes and comps and match triggers and 1,000-round magazine extensions and stuff.
If BCM, Primary Arms, and Federal want to sponsor the match, I'll allow it.
There you go. Yeah, you could do a stage, right, where one stage is done with everybody has to use the same gun.
Yeah, what's the Glock? What was the Glock doesn't do that anymore, right? You said it's done.
No, they do the GSSF match.
Oh, okay, they still do it.
They don't provide the guns, but it has to be a factory Glock. I think they have kind of like an open division, but it's still a Glock. Actually, that match is this weekend. Nam's getting ready for it.
Oh, that's
he's
cool.
Going after his masters.
Yeah, you don't need a special Glock though. Like Brantley Merriam, he just took second at USPSA Nats with a relatively stock Glock 17, right?
And to your point, didn't you say you've been traveling to all these matches when you could stay home and practice as much as you can closer? Isn't that what he does basically?
Yeah, I don't think he does this. No, I don't think most people shoot like I was shooting at times 2 or 3 matches a week. Yeah, I don't think most people do that, and I don't think that's even good for training purposes because that's pushing off days where I could be like training and I'm now driving to shoot, in total 2 minutes over 4 or 5 stages, right? Where I could have actually been driving. I could have done anything that would have been better for actual training. So yeah, I don't think when you're at a very high level, I don't think you need to go to that many matches. I was just kind of trying to culture shock myself, I guess, because again, that was my first USPSA match was in March. And then just doing so many of them. I think there's like a little bit of a learning curve to doing matches in general, right? Just getting used to that, the feeling, a little bit of stress, a little bit of adrenaline, right? But after a certain point, I don't think you need to be doing that many matches. I think that's a little counterproductive just because you're spending so much time, energy, money getting to the things rather than actually doing the things.
And you'd be worn down. You could be tired and you're just not even performing to learn anything because you're just exhausted in general. And you're like, what did I do?
Well, yeah, you say that. There was a time where I was going down into Omaha, which is like 4 hours. And so you drive 4 hours, you do bad. And then you're like, well, I got to drive 4 hours home now. It's going to be midnight by the time I'm back. And I was like, I don't think this was worth it. In hindsight, this is not a great idea.
save one for yourself.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah, and
That is not an excuse to not shoot a match.
Right, correct. Yeah. And again, I was driving absurd distances for matches, but I just think there's a level where it's like this is acceptable 1 a month, 2 a month, 3, 4, whatever it might be. But I think if you're spending so here's the extreme example. I know people who only shoot at matches. That's it. That's all. That's the only time they touch a gun. They don't dry fire. The only time they touch a gun is during a match, right? And I think they do it. It's kind of like almost like a social aspect. They go, they hang out with their buddies, they smoke a cigar, and then they shoot the match, and then they go home and they do it next month, right, or next week, or whatever it might be. It's like that's fine, but you're not really progressing in your skill by doing that, right?
At least they're supporting the event, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's great to hang out, have a good time, and they have a great time doing it. But it's a different mindset, whether you're just there to actually build skill, for whether it's just to be a prepared citizen, just because you like getting good at things, or it's just a social thing and you have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the different levels of dedication, right? That whereas like some people might dislike enthusiasts, I like enthusiasts. Like if you're in it for gear and it's kind of just your hobby, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that. Everybody's entitled to do as they see fit when it comes to their stuff. But for me, I try to be, especially now and of late, less just gear focused and more like actual performance focused. What can you actually get out of what you have rather than just chasing the next thing, right?
And there's nothing wrong with having fun at a match.
100%.
Yeah, no, those are good points.
Yeah, but you're 1,000% right. When you shoot a match, you should look at the area you perform the weakest at, and then you should spend time training that, right? How can I make myself better at this? Ask the people around you, hey, how can I perform better at this skill or this stage planning or whatever it may be, right? Whatever discipline you're participating in, and then you should spend more time training and less time going to another match. If you're getting beat locally, you don't need to travel yet.
Yeah. Well, hey, how dare you? So let me ask you guys this, because I think this is interesting as well. So I've heard it said that the match is not practice. The match is a check for the practice to see if what you've been practicing is actually effective, right? Because I don't think in terms of like real training, you're probably not getting that much through the match, but it's checking, is the training that you're actually doing in your free time, is that effective, and does that translate to real world performance under pressure?
You're 1,000% right. And that's what I said earlier. I kind of look at our competitions as a way to pressure test our training program.
Yeah, I think yeah, I mean, I agree. Like back home where I shoot basically to 500 all the time. Me and Jimmy both talk about this, where at least to 500-600, like if people could be efficient from 0 to 500, 600 is even better, but let's just say 0 to 500 with a carbine, that does wonders. If you can group tight out the distance, you can get 5 out of 5 hits at 500 at all times. If you can get to a position, that stuff does translate. And if you have that problem, which I do want to mention another point, but at Jimmy's match, I've done that so much over the years. I did fairly well at his matches, because I already had those fundamentals down. And if I didn't, I would know I have trouble past 500 when I'm in a hurry. I need to maybe quit with 0 through 300 for a while, and I need to go to 4 through 6 and hone that in. The other point, man, I had another really good point. I'll think about it in a second. Go ahead.
ADHD is a superpower, Mark.
Yeah. I got so much freaking crap going on, man. Like the stress.
The thing you need is a metric. That's how you get better. I don't care what the metric is. I don't care if it's a shot timer. I don't care if it's a competition. I don't care what your metric is to get better, but you need a metric that you're pushing yourself to. The good thing about a competition versus a standard, when we train to a standard, we hit that standard and then we plateau. We go, okay, cool. Competition is an ever-changing standard. The people are always getting better around you. That pushes you to get better. So whatever you're trying to develop, if it's shooting precise, well, then make it yourself shoot smaller targets. Or if it's shooting faster, well, then get a shot timer and start pushing it to go faster. but you have to have some form of a metric. And I think that's a really good point. UFC fighters don't fight every day. They train every day, right? They do very few fights in a year.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's a great example. The match shows the work that you put in the gym, basically.
Right.
I remember my point before I get scatterbrained, whichever side you guys are on. Jimmy said, don't leave your local area if you can't, win in your local area before you travel.
You don't need to.
Yeah,
I didn't say don't do it. But
what I was gonna add, the second layer onto that is once you do start winning everything in your area, I talk about this in my video coming out Friday. You need to go to a blind range you've never been to. You don't naturally understand the distances. It's new, unfamiliar terrain, different elevations, and then see how good you basically do in a semi-blind environment. Because I started going to their matches after I met Jimmy because I wanted to just strip home field advantage in any way, to see where do I actually sit. And
I think that's good. You're unfamiliar, new people. It's not comfortable, because I think that's another thing too. People get very comfortable in their shooting, in their performance, and they know what they can do. And then once they're comfortable at that level, they just kind of plateau and stay there, right? And so to break through that, well, you got to push past your comfort zone, go somewhere else, do something crazy, different style of shooting, whatever it might be.
Yeah, and Jimmy, his crew, they got some savages, so you better put up when you show up, or they're gonna eat you. Let's just say that.
Luke, go ahead. Oh, yeah, sorry. Go ahead. I was gonna say, Luke has a question. How much cardio is involved? And the correct answer is there is never too much cardio.
At my Team Ruck match, I think the guy said they moved about a total of 9 miles. Only 4 miles of that was for score. So we have kind of a unique system. Our range is about 180 acres. It's Fort Harmar down in Marietta, Ohio. But we have several different bays and rifle ranges that we utilize with different impact zones and SDZs. And we have a control point. Think air traffic controller. And after he's got all these cards on the table, and he can see where everybody's at. And when you go shoot a stage or do a ruck, you come back to this control point, and then they send you to the next area that's going to have the least amount of gap. So there's a lot of walking back and forth that's not necessarily on the clock per se. As far as cardio, I'd say a stage with low movement for us, like our Mad Dash stage has 150 yards of movement in one stage. But
right,
I wouldn't necessarily say that's like
higher speed, shorter distance, higher speed, I would imagine.
On a lot of those, sure. Yeah. But then as far as like rucking, we just stick with the Army standard, and it's let me rephrase that. We stick with their time standard. I do have to carry insurance, so I did reduce the weight, right? So it's 25 pounds of dry weight. So not things you're not going to consume for the day, being ammo, food, and water. And it's a 15-minute a mile standard. So it's pretty achievable.
Right.
And what's the distance in elevation, Jimmy?
Well, if we're doing the hill, there's about 300 feet of elevation change when you're doing the hill.
What angle are those?
Oh, Mark's referencing, there was like a little side challenge where you had to take a semi truck tire up a cliff.
Some of them hills were.
That sounds like fun. Jeez. Yeah. There you go.
You'll see it in the video.
You get extra points for that?
That was just part of the ruck leg. What we were trying to do was kind of like simulate casualty evacuation. That was the theme of that whole match.
Cool.
So, yeah, that one was pretty difficult.
Yeah, miserable, but it's a fun way to be miserable,
I lucked out. My teammate is literally Superman, so he was just bear grabbing this thing, helping get it up the hill. So
there you
go. Hey, that's a good point where maybe strength comes into play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what's the meme? I don't want to pick on too much, but guys who can't do the dead man Randy, is that the name of the 200-pound body bag that you have to drag at certain events?
The Rescue Randy.
Rescue Randy, that's it. Yeah, where he's like 200 pounds, and there are certain competitors in history who have not been able to move Mr. Randy from point A to B, and so they lose that stage.
Well,
That's just how it goes.
my good buddy Brian did a couple tactical games in intermediate class, and he was telling me one of them, as he was with the bag, he puked in his own mouth, and to not stop, he just re-swallowed it and kept on going.
That's things I didn't need to know, but thank you for sharing with the rest of the class. That is funny.
I want to shout out to the run and gun community. I don't know if you're familiar with those kind of matches, but it's basically 2-gun with like a 5K incorporated. These guys have been very supportive of us. And it's a really good place for you if you're interested in the kind of stuff like Mark and I do. It's more structured than what we do. I think it's a good stepping stone from like the Team Ruck, from 2-gun to the Team Ruck. It's a good place to go in between those spots.
Okay, interesting. And who puts those on?
Several different places. I know there's Heartbreak, I think, is in Kentucky. I know there's several in Missouri. I know there's like a Wolverine one, I think, up in Minnesota. The Action Shooting Show, a couple of friends of mine, they usually do reviews on different run and gun challenges. And there's several out west. I'm not sure of all the places out there. But East Coast, I think there's a lot in Kentucky, North Carolina, Texas, Virginia area.
He posts those. He's nonstop doing the Texas ones.
Okay, yeah, I just searched it up and I see some guys on Sniper Side talking about it. So cool, very cool. Well, what do you gentlemen say that we round out here? We read the questions and comments from the audience, and then we'll go on our merry way this Friday night, gentlemen.
Good luck, Jimmy.
Well, so I mean, they did they had a fascination with your mustache to start. Sabardic Psycho says like Jimmy, more like Edgar Allan Bro. That's a good one. Thank you, Sabardic. Zephon says, is that Captain Price in the whiskey shirt? Did you play the old Modern Warfares at all, Jimmy?
Oh, I did. Yeah, that's been several years ago. That's awesome. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, you need to grow out the mutton chops a little bit, and then you got the full look going. There you go.
Yeah, I could get it.
Oh, oops, sorry. Let me get wrong one. Sorry. Huge ass. You meanie. We'll move on. I'll get the rest of these guys. Don't worry. Mike Mo Ready for $4.99 says, supporting the D34 cause, 0 videos are goated and always in my offline library for reference. Rally for this man. Well, very nice, Mike Moretti. And again, for everybody who wasn't here earlier, all of these super chats, everything on Rumble, YouTube, all going to the GoFundMe, which is pinned in the chat. So this is all going to him anyways. I said that earlier, man. Josiah Bush for 5 says, hanging with the... you guys are giving up your time. You guys can reap the benefits.
Dude, I didn't know. Thank you. Shoot.
Yeah. Josiah Bush for 5 says, hanging with the old lady, so we'll have to catch the stream tomorrow. In the meantime, I hope you all have a great night. Well, hey, Josiah, you have a great night as well. Hey, so I have a 9-month-old son. So are we going to like do a... what's that called? Arranged marriage? We'll just get that finalized now so we never have to worry about that. Seal the bloodline. Fault line penalty for 2 says, cardboard, don't shoot back, Sonny. Yeah, that's always a fun one too.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever get
the number of kids up?
Yeah. Absolute Moonman says, testing, basement, sitting U.S. Senator Pizza Hut. No, hear me out. Focus Trip's wife, let me post Suppa's Google. I have no idea what any of that meant, good sir, but thank you for the 5. It's going to a good cause. Central Sands Defense says, U class for life. Dude, I get like the letter M doesn't mean anything. It's just funny to me, right? Because I get clapped by everybody, so it doesn't matter. The letter is just a letter, good sir. Thank you for the 2. Huge ass for $20 says, I worked in aviation for 10 years, 6 mil and 4 civilian. Someone should tell Pranka he's just an enthusiast if he flies without having worked on an aircraft before. Stop buying tickets and get an AP cert, bro. I think he's still salty at Matt Pranka for his comments on enthusiasts about civilians and training and stuff like that. It happens. We already answered that from Custom Line. Art Vandalay for $4.99 says, shout out to Delta 34 for having the best graphics for explaining optics and converting me to the Church of the Cog. Forward piggyback TA31 RMR mount when? Question mark.
There are some very cool surprises. Also, I got another really good couple instructional videos, and that's what I made them for. You know, it used to be if you went to a range and you're explaining something to somebody and you don't have the visuals, people just kind of nod their heads and pretend they understand what you're saying. And then you set them on the table, they go to shoot, and they did nothing of what you just told them. And you're like, did you hear anything I said? Well, some of these visuals were meant to just help each other, honestly. You can sit down and be like, hey, watch this video after you're done, then meet me Sunday at the range and we'll do some shooting.
Watch the whole video.
Yeah, the whole video.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you ever get those finished, that's a good fundraiser, maybe. Might help out a little bit.
Yeah, a bunch of cool stuff in the work. I got like 12 videos ready, just no time. And then like every time I do a Ridge Racer, I'm doing like 2 weeks of editing privately unlisted for the competitors to send them their footage. You know, so I just kind of, I mean, they paid, they came and they supported the event, helped me build it bigger and better. And then, yeah, you know, that takes up time too.
The editing that's the, especially your style of editing, where it's, again, I think you're the epitome of lowest quantity, highest quality. You know, whereas I think YouTube nowadays is almost the complete opposite of that, right? But I mean, the editing, the visuals, all fantastic.
Thanks. More coming.
Coppertone 32 for $4.99 says, Delta 34, I used your ACOG truing video to help teach my PMI courses when I was still in the Army. That's awesome.
Perfect.
Fantastic. Let me see.
That's awesome.
How to do sounds. Oh, yeah, Art Vandalay. So Art Vandalay for $4.99 says, the next level of competition is the Wendy's 4-for-4 drill. Have you guys heard of the Wendy's 4-for-4 drill?
I saw this in a comment on Lemon.
It did it again. I am sure the audience can hear you. However, I can no longer hear you.
Jimmy.
I'll be right back, gentlemen. Okay.
Oh, I think they were
unbelievable.
Real quick to the guy that just said, you know, they used it for the Army stuff. There's a local National Guard unit. They were going to call me in, and I was going to do some. I would just have like a little PowerPoint or my videos and explain some marksmanship to those National Guard guys so they understand zeroing and trajectories better. Because trajectories are basically just trigonometry, you know, and then if they understand it better, I mean, our whole force is just better in general, and then they can pass that on to people. I had a drill sergeant when I first joined. This is in 2001. Don't tell anybody how old I am. And this drill sergeant gave me incorrect information of where my holds were. And I was shooting the berm as a fresh 17-year-old, you know, young man. And as I found out that he was just passing on all these old, you know, boomer traditions that he didn't even understand, I was getting like marksman on my qual. As soon as I found out his instructions were wrong, instantly expert the rest of my career, because this guy told me to hold in the wrong spot. So anyway, thank you for using that video to make, you know, future soldiers better.
There's been more than one drill sergeant train soldiers wrong, and then all of a sudden you're a squad leader having to retrain soldiers. Like, no, you should not zero this tip of the chevron at 25 meters. The person that told you that is legally retarded.
Right.
That old Marine Corps method where it was just like a point and shoot with the tip, so they didn't have to think. But the BDC would be off after that, you know. So let's hope you don't out to 500.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, that's the fun part about explaining like what reticles are actually for. But sorry, to go back to this, do you guys know what the Wendy's 4-for-4 drill is?
I think you had to just eat them as fast as possible, I think.
Yeah, so it's the Wendy's 4-for-4 is like the small cheeseburger, fries, a drink, and 4 chicken nuggets, and then you have to take a battle rifle and do 4 rounds at 40 yards. But the entire thing is supposed to be done in under 40 seconds. So it is. The closest that we've seen so far is like a minute 17 to get through all of it, and it's absolutely disgusting.
Look, so you have to eat all this and then shoot the target.
And then shoot, yes.
Oh, okay.
But it's the speed eating that's the hard part, because I've 4 rounds, 40 yards, no problem, right? But you have 40 seconds to eat all of this and shoot, right? All into the 40 seconds.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
I mean, you could finish your chicken nuggets on the way to the target position, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's been many strategies. All have failed, though.
I can't fit all that in my stomach, man. At least not right now.
It's just gross. Every time I think about speed eating and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't know. Not for me. Agardis for 10 does have a question though. Delta 34, how far is the range from Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh's actually about 2 hours and 20 minutes from where I live. So I'm guessing you're about an hour 50. I would probably say you're about an hour 50 from Pittsburgh. Yep. If you're in downtown Pittsburgh, that is.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
For
Beautiful.
a nice range.
What's that?
Oh, I said for a nice range. That's not bad at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's all time. It's one way for me. It's 2 hours to Jimmy's matches. It's 2 hours with no cell phone service in the bins.
Yeah.
Hours back every time. I do it. I'm doing it again in August. I'm doing it. Was it twice in September?
Yeah. Oh, hey, I forgot. September, if you want to shoot a bunch of different matches, we're going to have a run and gun sprinter, a Ridge Racer demo, and a Whiskey Hotel demo, as well as Hood's handgun training, Hood's handgun combat pistol match. All will be at this same event.
Yeah, Jimmy's basically bringing together all the different disciplines that Focus Trip was talking about. Like, hey, what should people do? Well, there's going to be a bunch of different disciplines all at this event. You sign up. And for the people that missed my spring Ridge Racer, because I'm sorry, I can't do that many people yet. I'm going to do a single lane demo at his hard skill days in September. And then it'll be back to the fall dates for the next one.
Yep. So the concept was we'll have 4 instructors doing different training disciplines and 4 different match directors showing different match disciplines. And you kind of get to pick and choose your poison and where you're going and what you're training and shooting that day. We're calling it Hard Skills Day. The link's up on Practice Corp.
Sweet. Coppertone does come back and he says, I was teaching a bunch of 88 mics in Germany, so hopefully they take it forward and remember it. Yeah.
The old truck drivers. Hey, man, real quick about truck drivers. I watched one of your streams one time and they were giving some truck driver guy a hard time. I can't remember what his name is. Hey, those dudes, that one had one of the highest recruiting payouts, that job. So it was field MPs and 88 mics. And here's why. Those guys were basically soft targets, at least early in the invasion when I was there. Them dudes were getting torn up a lot by the enemy, because if my goal is to hurt the enemy, well, do you want to try to shoot at this Abrams that's armored with 50 cals and a 240 Bravo hanging out of a freaking porthole in the side? Or do I find this soft unit here that guarantees my goal, which is to hurt people? So those dudes were getting the highest re-enlistment bonuses and all this stuff. So I will stick up for the 88 mics. I personally have an uncle that was married to my aunt. He's prior artillery, got out, went into a National Guard unit. They lost multiple people the year after I was there. These Iraqis had basically set up a giant anti-air seat, the crank style. Well, they all blown up and decommissioned. Well, they had preserved one. They hid it under palm brush. Their convoy starts going by, and they just ripped through their whole freaking convoy. So whoever the 88 mic guy was, I got your back. I know how bad it was with setting up the gun trucks.
Yeah, actually, speaking of that, we had an 88 mic on a month and a half or so. He was about that same time. So
yeah, I think I saw part of that's what I'm mentioning. I understand that guy. So if nobody does, I understand him.
We remember. ET for 49 says, I can't watch, but support you, Delta 34. Keep it up, focus. You're killing it. Oh, and fire Richard for fuck's sake, because no reason or don't. Whatever. Well, thank you, ET, and thank you for the support, good sir. Yeah, Richard is on assignment tonight. He's actually, I don't know if he wants to say, he had a family thing come up. He is away dealing with a family issue tonight. Otherwise, my co-host would usually be here. And then Focus Trip's wife for 10 says, just here to spread awareness and to a cause close to my heart. Wives in basements. Focus Trip only lets a trench grenade play on loop, and it's making me feel even more depressed. I got to turn off the Wi-Fi down there, apparently. That is one of my meme accounts, my many meme accounts. All right, gentlemen. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for that segment for the night. Unless there's anything else you guys would like. Oh, actually, no. I had a couple things that I wanted to add on here that I wrote down, and that I would forget if I didn't write down. I know people commented it on your video, but Lucas Botkin was talking about getting into buying up places for public ranges. Would that ever be something that you were interested in getting like your own investor or somebody who might be able to like add additional funds to something like this?
There was a lot of comments about that actually. I don't know if he's planning on building them or if he's talking about buying them or what he's doing. I'm not sure because I know he's rangeless. I emailed their company and said, hey, because he's rangeless, I guess. Emailed his new website and said, hey, if you need a place to shoot, come shoot with the boys or whatever to try to help him out. Because it would suck losing a range. You know? Yeah.
Both in the same spot.
Yeah, but I don't know him really. I met him at SHOT Show once. He seemed pretty nice. He was courteous and all that stuff. But as far as the investor, people talk about that. You just got to be really careful. Some people, like with me, I see giving, facilitating areas for people. Some people as investors see, profits, opportunity, and I've gotten a lot better at discernment as I've gotten older. You don't really know, I met you at SHOT. I met a couple of competitors in person. I prefer to meet people in person. You can get a better read on them. You know who they are. So sometimes the internet's hard to get reads on people. I just kind of like lay low in my small pond. And then if I come across people, cool. I don't know if he ever messages me, maybe he'll pitch some cool ideas or something like that. I mean, like I said,
I have contact with Lucas on a semi-regular basis. So if that was something you're interested in, I might be able to get you two in contact.
Yeah. He's obviously way smarter at business than I am.
Well, if he offers you 51%, just don't take it. Okay, just word of advice, don't take it.
Yeah, no comment.
Yeah. Actually, sorry, I forgot. On Rumble, Nick throws $20 and says, "I already threw $100 on GoFundMe, but here is $20 more." So there you go. There's another 20 for the cause.
Thanks to literally everyone so far. Like I said, I'll promise. If it doesn't work, you get refunded. And if it does work, guess what? If you guys gave me like 5 years and I'm successful in any way, I will give everybody their money back personally. It's just the timing thing. It's the timing. Sometimes things just don't line up at the right times in life sometimes. So yeah, I mean, if you guys, I'm a worker. If I fundraise 400,000, I can get this. And then in the next 10 years, I can make 400,000. I will give you guys all your $10 and $10 back. You can have it all back. I don't want it. I just take. Yep, lost him.
Gone.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get notifications. But yeah, that would be cool. That'd be crazy. Yeah, Lucas may have good ideas. He could have help. He could have insight. Yeah, who knows? That would be cool.
I just had a mouse ND. I pressed the back button on my mouse accidentally, and it left the page. No, somebody in the chat had a very
the practice.
Yeah, exactly. Blood-based just drops $10 and doesn't say a thing. So just throwing support your way. But there was a really important question in chat. Oh, yeah. So All Gun Tube's ass says, also, who does Delta 34 main on Street Fighter 2?
Ken. I like Ken.
Okay. There you go. Nice.
I was Guile first, but then Ken. I'm all American, baby. Yeah. But
hey, you got it. Well, they keep throwing more at you, good sir. Custom Line for 5 says, here is $5 more. Save your range from being a condo hellscape king.
Yeah, seriously, man. Actually, all the young guys, the younger than me, if you're in your 30s and you're doing well, and even if you have a business idea, help your ranges. I mean, that's still a cool business idea, and you preserve the ranges. Like, someone's going to have to step up. We were handed down the coolest, best nation in the world. It's been handed down to us. It's like your grandfather giving you a pristine 56 Bel Air, and you just don't care. You start wrecking it and banging it up, and then it's in a trash pond of landfill. Like, you're going to have to step up and take care of these things. It's just how it is. I mean, there's probably a range near you right now that has rotting wood on the side and the gutter downspouts ripped up and stuff. Go start shooting there. Fix their gutter. It's a couple nail spikes. Bend it out with a hammer, whatever you got to do. Like, you guys can preserve these things or they're all going to wither away.
We get them involved in these gun clubs. And, eventually you can start changing the mindset of the gun club, start allowing these new disciplines, these different things, get out of maybe that FUD mindset of some of them.
Yeah. And, do work without pay for it. Like,
right. Yeah.
I'm helping Jimmy with this match and he came down in the rain. Was it Sunday? What's today? Friday?
It's Friday.
Yeah. He came down Sunday to meet me and Jimmy just had knee surgeries. He's in therapy right now. For people who don't know, he's had some damage. He jumps in a river to cut down.
I didn't jump. I didn't jump. I want to be clear. I slowly crawled down. My
He's
wife
down-
might be
Ease
listening.
yourself in.
He's down walking in the rain. So I'm like, well, if Jimmy with knee surgery can jump in a river, I'm gonna jump in behind him, start cutting down trees to get these lanes opened up for his event in September. So yeah, Jimmy sends people and does things for me. I do things for him. We don't ask for anything from each other. Sometimes just go to your range and do it. Just do it. Help the staff, help the range, clean up some trash, something.
Yeah, no, I think that's an important thing, and I think just a principle in general is giving back and taking care of the things that were handed down to you, right? Not taking everything for granted. I think that's just a cultural value that we should try and reinstate, not just when it comes to like local ranges and stuff like that, but a cultural value, taking care of what has been handed down to us.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Well, anything else you guys want to touch on before we hop on out of here, good sirs?
I very deliberately and slowly crawled down into the creek. Did not jump.
Guy flings out a pocket and just starts tearing down trees this big around, just. And but anyway, I want to say, well, obviously, thanks Jimmy for coming on with me. Make sure I don't say anything dumb or sound stupid. I try to stay in my lane if I don't know certain things. You'll keep me out of that. And obviously Focus Trip, John, I appreciate you. Seriously. I know this was like short notice. You got a hold of me. So it's weird timing, but it's good timing. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to keep the momentum going for you and get the word out on the video and stuff like that. So I think it lined up well.
Yeah. Well, I owe you a solid. I owe everybody a solid, man. If there's something I can do for people, actually, I may have something special, a couple special things later down the road if this goes well for everybody that donated, people that can just view and just share to everybody.
Oh.
I have some special stuff planned if we pull it off. Let's just say that.
So I see Brass Facts is hanging out in the chat, but I think it's the other way around. I think what you've done is you've helped a lot of people in a lot of different ways. We've seen that in the chat already tonight and just throughout the years with your videos, right? So people are now giving back because you put out that information for free and people are just paying it forward, right? So I think that's the support that you're seeing.
Beautiful. Seriously, beautiful.
And Jimmy, anything you wanna shout out before we get out of here? I am gonna post your Instagram link in the chat here.
Thanks to Brass.
So everybody can go check out.
Yeah, guys, it doesn't really matter what match or what discipline you have. Just get out there and go shoot with other people and try new things. And that's the only way you're going to get better and develop skill.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Awesome. Well, with that, gentlemen, I'll go ahead and let you guys get out of here, and I'm just gonna finish up reading some of the more cringe donations that I didn't want to pin on you guys because they do get a little spicy. So I will see you gentlemen later. You guys have a wonderful night, and thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, gentlemen. Well, we are going to finish up again. Thank you very much to Delta 34 and Jimmy for coming on, hanging out with us. Yeah, you're just too slow. I was too fast. I was too fast for you, Brass. But yeah, I will finish up because I know people did send more super chats, and even though they're cringe and funny and poking fun, it's all going to Delta 34, so you guys can be as wacky as you want. All right. So we'll just go ahead and get into that. And then we'll have a short Friday night stream and let you guys enjoy the rest of your time. Absolute Moonman for 2, starting us off, says, preemptive Gake and Faye, we were on time, but that was because Richard was gone. But we were, in fact, on time, good sirs. Agardus for 2 says, thanks for letting me know the stream time. Yeah, 8 p.m. Usually 8 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, good sir. Huge Ass for 199 says, Pranka, Dranka, too much wanka. That is actually a apt response.
Yeah. Damn.
Central Sands Defense for 2 says, the perfect background noise for sim racing for 2. Well, yeah. I hope you're having a good time doing that. Sounds like a fun time. I need to get into sim racing. That sounds like fun. Zephon for 2 says, I'd start drinking again for Pranka. Just say when. No, I do need to get Pranka on the show. We will. I gotta get that done now. Now that I have the master USPSA ranking, I have to get that done. Huge Ass for 199 says, Grape, I think you mean sudden cultural diversity. See, it's those super chats that I'm like, eventually I'm gonna get got, but it is funny. Thank you, sir. Huge ass for the 199 says, I'm a USPSA Grandmaster Funk. Well, I think the next rank after that is Grand Wizard, so you're almost there, Mr. Ass. Mr. Jazz. Huge ass for 499 says, no SIG drama, no African kinging. I can't fap to this. Unbelievable. I was almost on loop, but you get one beep for you, good sir. Huge ass for another 499 says, look at me, I'm Pranka. I use my taxpayer-funded training to lord over normies. Yeah, I mean, there was lots of cringe in that Matt Pranka live stream that we did, but I think his basic point of like, hey, get out there, get the real skills rather than just like the gear queer elements, right? Actually be good with what you have. I think that is the important thing. Thank you, Huge ass. Moonman for 2 says, beep goes off, you say? Where is the Richard chirp? No Richard, but there is a John chirp. So you get the John chirp tonight. Thank you, Moonman for 2. Solo Gordo for 189 says, can I learn how to do Guile's Sonic Boom? JK, what is Guile's Sonic? Am I going to look this up and find something that I don't want to? Oh, okay. It's a Street Fighter reference. See, it's before my time. I never got into the fighting games. Absolute Moonman for 5 says, so true. In the infantry, we were taught to go for pogs first. I mean, that makes sense to me. Go for the easiest target rather than the tank or the thing that's going to shoot back at you. So thank you, Moonman, for the 5. Huge ass for 199 says, anti-Section 8 housing fund. True. Thank you, Huge ass for the 199. Chuck McGill, 69 says, nasal congestion equals taking a trip to a dual tower medical center. Thank you, Chuck McGill. McLeod 2486 for 5 says, in before a ton of states suddenly make ranges illegal, new and old. Yeah, that's another thing, is certain states are really crappy about ranges and all the permits and licensing, insurance, right? Whatever else it might be. So you do need to be careful about that. Thank you, McLeod, for the 5. And Blood-Based responds, Chama, Mr. Blood-Based. YeastyG for 199 says, what's the weirdest thing you ever put in your pooper? Unbelievable, Mr. G. I think Trench is probably the weirdest thing that's been in yours. Chuck McGill says, don't get Pranka on. He's such a bore. Pranka is not boring, let me tell you. I don't know if Pranka's ever been party to a boring conversation. Thank you, Chuck McGill. Jalganis 499 says, missed the stream, catching up tomorrow. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ganis. I will see you tomorrow when you're actually watching this. And then on Rumble, another $20 from Mr. Raw Pooper 69. Fantastic name. That is going, he just says period. So that is also going to Mr. Delta 34. So I am paying the 30% tax. YouTube super chatted 160, Rumble 41. So it is going to be 205. Let's say 205 that you guys are donating to the fundraiser by Mr. Delta 34 to help him get his range. And yeah, that was the whole point of the stream, gentlemen. Talk about that, talk about shooting, talk about competition, talk about getting better, and to hang out a little bit. But with all of that out of the way, gentlemen, I think we're going to end it there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. God bless.
As I sailed, and most of them I've slain.